I should not be involved in any campaign investigation. I have studied the rules and considered their comments and evaluation. I believe those recommendations are right and just. Therefore, I have recused myself in the matters that deal with the Trump campaign. The exact language of that recusal is in the press release that we will give to you. I've said this, quote, I have now decided to recuse myself from any existing or future investigations of any matter relating in any way to the campaigns for President of the United States. I went on to say this announcement should not be interpreted as confirmation of the existence of any investigation or suggestive of the scope of any such investigation, because we in the Department of Justice resist confirming or denying the very existence of investigation. So, in the end, I have followed the right procedure, just as I promised the committee I would, just as I believe any good Attorney General should.
So the breaking news is that Jeff Sessions allegedly had contact with a Russian ambassador. They got him! Yeah! We got the bastard! Yes! Yes! The media just celebratory right now. Yes! We got him! Ha ha! He testified in his hearing in February. And Al Franken asks Jeff Sessions, quote, do you know of any contacts between administration officials and members of the Russian intelligence agencies? And Jeff Sessions said, I was a pundit for the Russians. Wouldn't they love that? I was a pundit for the surrogate for the Trump campaign, and I was not in contact with any such members. Turns out, a Justice Department official. A Justice Department official. Who? I don't know. No one knows. Washington Post knows. Allegedly, they know. They don't identify who it is, though. They don't even put in there that it's a quote-unquote unnamed source. More about that in a moment. Ripping apart these absolute hit jobs in the media are so much fun. It's so much fun ripping apart this BS. It's like ripping apart a dog turd. Very easy to kind of rip it apart. It's a smelly job, but someone's got to do it. So, again, Al Franken in February asks Jeff Sessions during his confirmation hearing, quote, do you know of any member of the Trump administration or the Trump campaign who had contact with the intelligence agencies in Russia? And Jeff Sessions said, well, I'm a surrogate, am considered a surrogate for the Trump campaign, and I did not have any such contacts. This Justice Department official now indicates, again, who is it? I don't know. Be nice to know, wouldn't it? Be very nice to know. The Justice Department official indicates, quote, this testimony was a lie, the Washington Post points out. In fact, Jeff Sessions had contact with Vladimir Kislyak. K-I-S-L-Y-A-C. Kislyak. I don't, is that how you say it? Kislyak? I have no idea how to say that. I told you. I have my reading software here. You can hear my phone. That's what I have to listen to every day. Let it end! Let it stop! That's what I have to listen to become blind. So, it sometimes mispronounces names, but it's K-I-S-L-Y-A-C. So I'm Kislyak. Kiss my ass. I don't know. Whatever. Vladimir Kiss my ass, the ambassador to Russia, was in contact with Jeff Sessions twice in 2016. Once in July and once in September. Okay? His first quote-unquote contact with the ambassador to Russia occurred in July at a black tie event. Evidently, this kiss my ass ambassador came up to Jeff Sessions and shook his hand and talked to him for about 3 minutes. Oh my, 3 minutes! What would they have discussed? I don't know. The intrigue. The intrigue. Imagine what they would have discussed. at a black tie event. You know, hundreds of people are coming up. He's a senator. Oh, and by the way, he was one of the heads of the Armed Services Committee. I mean, you would hope that the guy was in contact with, you know, I don't know, other ambassadors to other nations. That might be kind of nice. But more. Evidently, this Vladimir Kislyak, kissed my ass, the Russian ambassador, met with Jeff Sessions in his office in September of 2016. The Washington Post points out that Jeff Sessions joined the campaign in January of 2016, proving that he lied to Al Franken. Lied. He lied under oath. Again, let's review what Al Franken asked. Quote, are you aware of any Trump administration officials or campaign officials who have had contact with Russian intelligence officials? And Jeff Sessions said, no. No. Now, I don't know what the IQ of the ambassador is. I have no idea. Maybe he's very intelligent. But I don't think he's classified as an intelligence official. Do you? I'd love to know your comments in the comment section below. And even if he answered, you know, falsely or didn't remember the conversation, we'll get to that in a minute. As a lawyer, I'll tell you, that's not unprecedented. Get to that in a minute. Back to this article. The unnamed Justice Department. I mean, what is it with all these unnamed Justice Department officials? Unnamed sources, unnamed sources. This one, now, what's really odd about the article is, this Washington Post article, it does not indicate, quote, an unnamed source, or, quote, a source off the record. Or I guess it can't be off the record because the guy talking to the Washington Post, and they wrote an article about it. But, you know, usually if you read an article, it's, quote, an anonymous source, or, quote, an unnamed official, or, quote, a person who wanted anonymity. It doesn't say any of that here. I mean, I've read it 4 or 5 times. None of it. Nothing. It says a Justice Department official. What official? Who was it? Who is it? Whoa, why do you want to know that, Jim? I mean, what? You want retribution? No, I don't want retribution. It's not about retribution. It's about credibility. Look, if Alex Jones was working for the Justice Department and he leaked out a story, would you trust what Alex Jones says? I know a lot of people like Alex Jones, but I'm sorry, he's not really the bastion of truth. He has a little problem with conspiracy theories. Just a tad. Just a tad. But they don't even identify a, quote, unnamed source, quote, anonymous official. So how do I even know they even talk to anyone? Well, you got to trust them, Jim. Trust them. They're the Washington Post. Come on. Oh, okay. Yes, I trust them. Just like CNN. Oh, I trust CNN so much. Don't you have such, you know, unending trust for these news outlets that have been so fair to Donald Trump? Yeah, they're just trying to do their job. Do some investigative reporting. Keep Donald Trump honest. I mean, I don't know who keeps them honest. Oh, why would you even ask such a thing, Jim? You're such a controversial figure. What a right-winger thing to say. Well, who does keep them honest? We do. We do. They are business enterprises. And we make our choices. We can make our choices as to whether we support these news outlets. By what we buy, by where we go online. And I'm telling you, if there is a company advertised on the Washington Post, I will not buy their product. That's me. That's me. You can decide what you want to do. But I, for one, will not buy a product advertised in the Washington Post. I mean, this is not journalism. Oh, and all the Democrats are out there, all the liberal pundits are out there tweeting it. Oh, you see this? Oh, tweet it out, tweet it out, tweet, 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 tweet. Rachel Madcow before a show. Whoa, explanation mark. This is a problem, Jeff Sessions. And you're thinking to yourself, what are you talking about? I mean, look, maybe it's completely true. Maybe it's completely true. How dare Jeff Sessions, the head of or one of the heads of the Armed Services Committee. How dare he talk to an ambassador of Russia? What are you doing? He talked to the Japanese ambassador, the North Korean. No, they don't have any ambassadors. The South Korean ambassador, the Chinese ambassador, an ambassador to Mexico. Do we have collusion between all those nations in the Donald Trump campaign? No, it's only Russia. Got to focus on Russia, you know. They tried to manipulate the election. Yes, they tried to curve the election. That's what they did. That's why Hillary lost. Right. Exactly. That's why she lost. Right. Okay. So this is what the story now is. And this will be breaking news tomorrow morning. Even though you've just now heard about it now, and it's 10 p.m. on the East Coast, 7 p.m. on the West Coast. They're going to tweet it like it's, treat this like it's such breaking news. Oh my God, Jeff Sessions has to recuse himself. He is so compromised. Now, told you I have a cold. I'm sorry. About the claim. Oh, so not only did he respond I have my notes here in my iPhone that I took from the article. Not only did he respond to a question from Al Franken in February, but the Washington Post points out that a questionnaire was given to Jeff Sessions by Patrick Leahy. Oh, yes, Patrick Leahy. In January of 2017. Again, he had his confirmation hearings in February of 2017, and he had a questionnaire. That's when Al Franken asked him a question, and he allegedly lied under oath. And in January 2017, a month before his testimony, which occurred in February, last month, in January, he received a questionnaire from Patrick Leahy. And the questionnaire said this, quote, "Are you aware of any contacts between campaign officials and members of the Russian government," it goes on, "regarding the presidential campaign, either before or after the election?" And Jeff Sessions, the Washington Post proudly points out, wrote one single word answer: "No, and that was a lie." It wasn't a lie. How do you know what Jeff Sessions talked about with this Kislyak, Vladimir Kislyak, the Russian ambassador? How do you know what he talked about? Again, Patrick Leahy, his questionnaire in January was, are you aware of any campaign official from the Trump administration or the Trump campaign who had contact with a member of the Russian government regarding the election before or after the election? And Jeff Sessions said no. He said no. That is not a lie, folks. If he did not talk to Kislyak, 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 Vladimir Kislyak, the Russian ambassador, if he did not talk to him about the campaign, then guess what? That's not a lie. That's called the truth.